Rev up your engines! If you've ever locked your keys in your car, you're going to love this video to show you how you can get them back. And no, I'm not testing blood pressure. It's a way you can get into cars if you lock your keys in. But let's be logical about this. A lot of people are in a hurry, they lock their keys in the car, then they're stuck. Well, there's one thing you might not realize. You want to check your car first. Because let's say you leave the keys in the ignition, okay? It's not turned on, it's turned off. This is a Toyota, and watch what happens. You try to lock the car with the key in the ignition, it won't let itself. No matter what you do, you can't lock the door, so it's not gonna lock it out. So you might want to do this test first. You got an old car like this with a regular immobilizer key. If you leave it in the ignition, you can't lock it. It won't let you lock it. And if you have a more modern car with one of these keyless remote systems, many of them, if the keyless remote is inside the vehicle, it won't let you lock the doors. But if you do want to try to test, you might roll the window down first so you don't lock the keyless remote or your key in the car. And then if you see it won't lock it, in this case, it won't lock it, you'll know with the key, as long as it's in the ignition, you can't lock it. And if you have one of these keyless remote systems, where as long as it's in the car, you can't lock the door, you don't have to worry with these at all about locking the door within it if it won't lock the door. Now, in the case of this old Matrix, it's a 2007, I can't lock the door with the key in the ignition. But let's say I just dropped the whole set of keys, left them in the car. It would lock it then, because it's not keyed in the ignition, so always keep that in mind. Now, if you have a simple key to your car and it starts it, my advice is if you're the type of person that has a tendency of locking your keys in your car, in your wallet, just have a spare key. Stick it inside, right? Or if you're a lady that's got a purse, put a spare key in your purse, then you can't be locked out. As long as you got your purse, I always have my wallet, which also has my phone, so I never let go of it. So I don't have to worry about getting locked out because I always have a spare key. And they also make those little boxes, magnetic boxes, you can put a spare key in, then you can hide it inside a fender or something. Pray the magnet doesn't let go and it holds it in, but of course, you can't do that with the modern keyless systems. Then anybody'd be able to steal the car anytime, because with the keyless system, it'd be here, the signal'd still be going in, and they could just break your window or get your door open and then drive away. The alarm wouldn't go off because your keyless remote would be there and it thinks that you're in the car. So you can't really put a keyless remote in a little magnetic box or somebody be able to steal your car even faster. And modern cars, really, you need a spare key, because if you lose your key and you can't make another key because you don't have a key to copy, then it can cost you a small fortune having it done. So do like I do, have at least one spare key. Here's my key drawer. I got keys all over the place, but they're all in this drawer, so I know if I need a key, it's going to be in this drawer. But if things don't go as planned, how are you going to get back in without breaking something? Well, I bought this cute $30 kit, comes with everything you need, and I'll show you how it works. It's very simple. Just realize one thing. If you're trying to get into your car that's actually locked and the alarm is on, make sure you got your driver's license, registration. So if the alarm goes off, the police aren't going to arrest you for breaking into somebody else's car. Now, we're going to do it on the driver's side because the driver and the passenger side has the electric door lock button, and we want to push it down. So you get this bladder. It's an air bladder that comes with the kit. There's actually more than one. And you wedge it in the top and then pump it. As you pump it, it will open this gap a little. You can see it's opening up. It won't open up all that much, but it has opened the gap. Then comes the tools. Here's the handle, and there's various attachments. And since there's a pretty far distance between here and the button, we have to use the adapters here. They could have made male, female, they didn't. They're all male, so you put an adapter on this end, adapter on this end, and then the finger will go on the end here. Now, I do have to say I like the system for one main reason. One, it's cheap. It was only 30-something bucks, right? But the two is, it's adjustable rod. Years ago, I had a very expensive one, and the expensive one was one piece. You had to hand bend it. It was a pain in the butt. This thing, hey, I gotta finish tightening it. You gotta make sure it's tight. There. You can make it the size you need. You don't have to worry about it. It's ready made, and it's pretty good. Stainless steel, too. It's nice and strong. Then you feed it through the hole you made. You have to fiddle around a little until you hit the button, and then the button will make the pop noise. It popped, and now the door opens. Now let's say your car doesn't have electric door locks. It's either really old or you bought a really low price model. You can still use this to unlock the car, but it's an awful lot harder because then you have to unlock the door lock, and it's a lot harder to try to get in there and do this. It can be done, but it's extremely hard to do. Now there's other kinds of unlock kits you can get to unlock the doors, door jimmy and stuff, but the problem is a lot of them, you have to push them through the side of glass here. You can break the glass. You can also destroy your lock assembly, rip pieces inside, break your door latch. And in many cars, you can't use those Slim Jims anymore because they boxed out the inner door lock and unlock mechanism that's in here. When you get down there, instead of getting to the latch and pulling it up, they put a steel box around it so you can't do that. Well, once you use this thing with the air bladder and get in, you're just pushing the unlock button, right? The unlock button's there, as you can see. You can even make it longer if you got a real long car. Let's say you got 4 door locks. Maybe only one of them works right. Well, you can always get to one of them. It's got different lengths, so you can reach inside and pop it open. If you have a hard time getting a bladder in, comes with some cool plastic tools, so you can slide them in and start it up and then put the bladder in. And I do mean a whole bunch of plastic tools. Any car out there, it's got a way you can wedge it in and get the thing unlocked. Now let's say your car didn't lock you out, but it won't start and you're stranded then. Here's a great tool I've tried out. Well, actually 2 tools. This one was phenomenal. This one was a piece of crap. So, now if your battery's dead, your car's not gonna start. So you open the hood, hook it up to the battery, positive to positive, negative to negative. But as you can see, of this JF Egwo supposed 6,000 amp charger, it has 0 power. It won't even light the little flashlight. So we'll take it off and I'll explain. This is a long-term test. This thing's been sitting for about 1.5 years, not being used, just sitting there. It's a lithium-ion battery, supposed to last a long time, right? But as you can see, nothing. Won't even light the little flashlight on it. So instead, I'm gonna use this Hulkman 10.0. It sat for 2 years in my garage not being used. And watch. Positive to positive, negative to negative. It has 100% charge left. Okay, this JF Egwo one supposedly 6,000 amps. After 1.5 years, it had 0 charge left. It wouldn't even light the flashlight, right? Where the Hulkman had 100% left after sitting 2 years in the garage. It's not a heated garage either, and in Rhode Island it gets cold in the winter, right? So it didn't destroy it, didn't bother it at all. This one's 100%, everything still works. That's what you want in a jump starter. It's got a little warning, so if you're stuck on the road, something else breaks on your car, you get in a wreck, you can stick it out and warn people that there's a problem. The only thing this JF Egwo one warns you about is that you wasted your money, and it doesn't even have a flashlight that works anymore. They both say the same thing. Designed in US, made in China. Designed in USA, made in China. Well, these Chinese dudes did a much better job building one. You don't always get what you pay for, right? But in this case with the Hulkman, you certainly do. You want an emergency power supply that's going to work when you need it. You might not need to jumpstart your car for 2, 3, 4 years, right? With the Hulkman, it did its job, and they're idiot proof. You put it the wrong way, it won't do anything. You don't have to worry about putting one battery cable on the positive terminal and then ground the body instead of the battery, because you might get a spark that could theoretically cause an explosion. Extremely rare, but in this case it doesn't matter. You just connect them. There's no power until you push the power button, right? And the power button is sealed inside the battery, so there's not going to be a spark. So you don't have to worry about a spark with these things. Now I love products like the Hulkman lithium-ion battery jump starter, because when I was a kid, they didn't really have lithium-ion batteries, right? So we just had flashlights, flashlight batteries. Dang things, the acid would eat through, destroy the thing. By the time you needed it, you turn it on, nothing, you take it apart, and the batteries are all corroded, the switch has been eaten away, and then you just throw the thing away. These lithium-ion batteries don't have that problem. The good ones, like the Hulkman, can sit for years. Same thing with my Yamaha here. It's got a big old 1300cc engine. I put a high quality lithium-ion motorcycle battery in. It sits for months and months and months, and everybody knows motorcycles, you let them sit for months, the lead-acid batteries go bad. You buy a lead-acid battery for a motorcycle, the guarantee is usually 6 months. Sometimes every year or two you got to buy a battery. This is a 2-year-old lithium-ion battery. It just sits and sits and sits for months unused, and watch. Let's hope I don't make a fool out of myself. We'll turn the key on, put on the clutch, see if it starts. Check it out. When made correctly, lithium-ion batteries can serve the purpose. But in the case of the motorcycle, you got to realize one more thing. It's a high-quality Yamaha Japanese motorcycle. High-tech electronics, well-made, right? It has no problem with the lithium-ion batteries, but the Japanese make their electronics better. I also put a lithium-ion battery in my 900cc Triumph English twin motorcycle. It didn't last 6 months because it's 2 cylinders, 900 cc's, a lot more pressure to turn up and down, kind of like a Harley, and it's English electronics. So it was useless in that. I had to go back to a lead-acid battery in that because it just uses too much power. The lithium ions are good for short bit of power quickly to start a motorcycle, right? And in the case of the jump starter, it sends the lithium ion power out quickly to jump start your car, but it can only do it a few times. It can't be used as a regular battery, but it's great for jump starting cars in emergencies. You wouldn't generally want to put a lithium ion battery in a car all the time. There's too much power to start a big old engine over and over, and all the accessories you use in a car, air conditioning, headlights, heater, cranking your radio up. You need more power that a lead-acid battery gives you. We learned 3 things. 1, if you lock your car's keys in the car, you can get a cute kit from Amazon for 30-something bucks to break into your own car to get in. 2, if your car doesn't start because your battery's dead, and you buy the right jump starter, you can safely start your car. And 3, at least if you own a quality Japanese motorcycle, you don't have to worry about the battery being dead all the time from not using it much by replacing it from a lead-acid battery to using a lithium-ion battery. I bought this thing with a lead-acid battery that was brand new. Well, it was 6 months old. It sat over the winter I came and it was flat dead. 2 years ago, put in a lithium-ion battery, now it works fine. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.